everybody, and welcome to the webinar. Today, we're talking about how you can take your brand brilliance and wrap it up into the pages of a book. Many of you know that having your own book will take you places you never thought possible. It will open doors that have previously been shut, but only if you are very strategic about the book that you write. Now, some of you may already have books, and if you're like the average person, even the best sellers on Amazon, you haven't sold very many copies of your book. And for many of you, your book really didn't bring many streams of income into your business. So today, we're going to be talking to both those who already have a book, and perhaps it hasn't been as profitable as you would have liked. And we're going to talk to the new people who have an expertise. They can change people's life. They have a message that the world is waiting to hear, but they just don't like to write, don't have time to write, refuse to write a word. We're talking to you also because listen, this is the thing that I know. I've been supporting solopreneurs for probably a decade now. And the thing that I know is oftentimes those of us who sell our knowledge, we are not getting a shine in the marketplace. We're not getting the opportunities. We're not getting contracts. We're not getting those big deals. This is what I know. I know that the majority of small businesses don't even walk away with $100,000 at the end of a year. This stops now. I want you to think about all of the thought leaders in your industry, the people who are making it big. What do they all have in common? Typically, they have two things in common. They have a book and they get on stages. Those two are a winning combination, but it all starts with wrapping your brilliance into the pages of a book. So, what we're going to talk about today is my six-figure strategy for how you can do just that. And listen, the most exciting thing about this is that you're going to be able to do it in 30 days. And you are going to be able to access simple AI tools in order to do that. It will help you to finally finish that book. Finish that book. You've got it in you. You've been talking about it forever. Now it's time to finish that book. But just don't finish a book. Don't finish a book that's not going to help you grow your business. Create a book that will do just that, grow your business. So listen, we've got a lot to cover today, a ton to cover today. I'm giving you the exact formula that I have used to build two businesses, and all of the thought leaders in your industry use a very similar process where they create a book, but they used to take years to create a book. I'm going to show you how you can do it in 30 days, and it will be a book that has your brand voice, and it will be a book that impacts your industry and elevate the ways people see you in your industry. So we're going to talk about, excuse me, we're going to talk about these 4 steps that are part of my framework. First, you have strategy. And on strategy, we're talking about what is it that you want? What do you want from your book? You need to think this through before you even begin to write. Think through what is the core of what you offer? What transformation can you promise and deliver? Think about who your audience is, their needs, their pain points, their desires. And then what is the through line? Where do you want to go after the book? What is the funnel? So let's get the strategy first, and then we'll move on to the book creation, because a lot of people think that's the hard part. But I assure you, with these simple AI tools I'll be talking about, it's not going to be as hard as it previously was. So we'll talk about book creation, and we're going to talk about doing it in such a way that you are meeting the needs of your ideal reader. That's critical, because if you meet their needs, The book is just the beginning of your funnel. It's just the way you're going to attract people. And once they get to know you with a low cost book, they'll be more excited about some of your other offers. Then from creation, we are going to go into the business building. And I have to admit, this is really one of my favorite things to do. Take a look at your business, your strategy, your understanding of your customer. What does it mean for your marketing? We're going to take a look at all of that today. And then finally, we're going to be talking about monetization. How are you going to take that book that we create together and you are going to have multiple streams of income that come forward from that book? Isn't that exciting? I think that's exciting, everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the strategy. What do you do before you write a page of the book? And I tell you that this strategy all starts with you. You are the strategy. You and what your business delivers to customers. That's the strategy, right? That's the beginning of it. And what we're going to do is talk about some honest self assessment. Where are you right now with your business? And what is that six-figure vision that you've created for yourself? Because if you don't know where you want to end up, you probably won't get there. So it starts with you making some decisions about what your expertise really consists of. And if there's any gaps in your expertise, that's okay. You can always learn and grow. But you want to talk about where you want to go, that vision, that future casting, so that this book is going to be a through line. It is going to get you to where you want to go. That is critically important. Then your understanding of your target market. Do you really know who is already buying your materials? And do you want to go after a different segment of your target market? That's the building business building part of the training. And then finally, at the end, we're going to be talking about my favorite part, that monetization, and how you can take your current skill set, your current offerings, expand them so that you can serve more customers. Isn't that exciting? So this is the deal. This is the deal. This is the way it works. So we're going to look at why. You know, everything starts with why. I'm sure you've probably read the book. Why are you writing the book? Why are you going forward? Why is this the time for you to do it? Understanding the why is critical to what you write, because you can write the same topic in many different ways. But when you know why you are doing it and what that vision is, it will take you closer to that vision. And then we also want to deal with who. Who is the target audience? What do they want? What do they need? What have you already delivered to them? The research that's involved in that. Now, some of you already have been in business for a while. You know your target audience really well. And perhaps now you said, hey, Angela, I've been serving client A, but now I'm ready to go to a new segment, client B. That involves some research so that you can understand who those clients actually are and what is the transformation that you can promise them that you can deliver. So that through line is look at your business, look at your offering, do an honest self-assessment about what it takes for you to get to the position where you want to be so that you can serve that audience and give them that transformation that they're looking for. And that's the end game. The end game is so that your customers actually get a transformation that you're promising them. Now, here's a real simple tool that I use with my customers. It's very simple. I call it the authority triangle, but it's an example of one of the little quick self-assessments that we do when we're working with our customers. And it all starts with core. Right? I told you it all starts with you. Be honest about who you are. I see too many people out there, especially newbies, who hear about something. Everybody's life coaching. This must be a good deal. Everybody needs help in their life. And then they run and get a certification as a life coach. Sometimes they don't even bother with that. Or they may say, everybody's doing challenges. I want to do a challenge, but they don't even like doing presentations. So let's look at the core of who you are. You look at that core, and it's going to help you determine what goes in that book and how you approach this entire strategy. So you be who you are. The truth of who you are is very important, to be authentic, both in your offerings as well as in your book. And then what do you do? What is your true subject matter expertise? You've got to know what your true offer is that comes out of the truth of who you are, so that people will feel the authenticity and you'll really be able to help them. That's a really important part. You really have to deliver on that transformation. So you be who you are at the core. You're going to do something well. That's your subject matter expertise. And out of that, you are going to speak differently. You are going to have a unique spin on this topic that you're covering in your book. You don't want to sound like everybody else and use their terminology. Oftentimes, we create our own frameworks, we create our own terminology to describe our deliverables because we talk about it differently. We've analyzed the subject and we understand it because we are experts. And once you're speaking differently and you develop a framework for how you're going to bring about that transformation, then you can actually teach something. You can teach something all the way from the principles to strategies to tactics. You can teach the whole gamut, right? And when you teach something, it's impactful. And once you can do that, you can easily create that repeatable process that is going to deliver the promise of the transformation. Now, that's how you get up to thought leadership. That's where you get up to being considered someone who creates impact in your industry. And then, of course, those are legendary people. And I hope many of you will become legends in your industry where everybody knows your name. This is just one example of the self-assessments that we provide you with, but it's so important. I hope it's none of you, but I've just seen so many people who are not being true, who are promising things that they can't deliver. That will destroy your brand. And so you have to be honest about who you are and what you do. Now, let me tell you a little bit about me. I just realized I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Angela Heath, and my company is TKC Incorporated. And I help people who are self-employed to start and build their businesses. And I do it in a couple unique ways. I believe that thought leadership, becoming a go-to person in your industry, is something that will help you build your business. So we create signature programs for our customers. We provide speaker training, support them with their virtual events, and then a top income producing book. And I have 4 books, and I feel very blessed that out of the 4 books, all of them have been able to pour multiple streams of income into my business to the tune of 6 figures each. And there's strategy behind that. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. If you've got the expertise, you can do the same thing. You can go further than me. You can pour in 7 figures into your book. So listen, here's my first book. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I know it really looks terrible, but this was 20 years ago. Back during the time, if you did self-publishing, it was considered trash. I had a publisher come to me to write this first book, and this first book started my business. I had a second publisher come to me and he said, "Hey, can you do a book for me?" Absolutely, I said. And it led to huge clients. federal agencies, state agencies, national nonprofit organizations, citywide groups. It led to corporations, big and small, coming after me. And I loved it because I didn't have to promote myself, as well as national organizations. And that was all because I did 3 books in about 5.5, 6 years, and I was a national expert. Now, again, that was 20 years ago. It's very different now. So we have to be more strategic about how we go about it and how we leverage that book, because there's a lot of self-created books, self-published books, and there's a lot of trash in the market. So being an author, even being a best-selling author, most people understand the algorithm play with Amazon is not that big of a deal as it was back when I did these first 3 books. So things were going really well for me. Some of you know my story. I was like traveling around the country. I was training, I was speaking, I was making a lot of money. I hired a number of subcontractors because I never had employees. And we were rolling. My customers, 95% of them love the work that I do. And I was able to change people's lives. I probably trained over 30,000 people over the years, able to create award-winning programs for my customers. We won 5 national awards for customers. Me personally, I've just won 2 international speaking competitions last year. So things were going really, really good, right? And then something happened. One day, my kid came bursting through my bedroom door with an announcement. Mom, I am having a hot flash. Now, there's 2 interesting things about that. Number 1, the kid was a boy. And number 2, the kid was 12. Number 3, actually, I wasn't even old enough to have a hot flash. So long story short, 1 week later, the child was diagnosed with leukemia. And so I became a hospital mom. I became a hospital mom. I started wearing sweatsuits and tennis shoes. I gained about 30 pounds, started drinking coffee, all of this craziness. Life happens. You know, maybe life has happened to you. Even with all your expertise, even with all of your experience and all of the things that you've done in your industry, life happens. Perhaps some of you were laid off. Maybe some of you lost a spouse. Maybe some of you just can't get to that next level. Imagine you're going for a job and you go in for the interview and you bring your industry book into the interview. It'll make a difference. It will definitely make a difference. So these are just some of the medications that I had to give my son when he was being tube fed. And I'm gonna tell you, being a hospital mom is no fun. I didn't have any, well, I won't say any, I had very, very little income. I remember one year I did make $14,000, but this was 3.5 years. I closed that first business so I could get in the ring and make sure my son had the support and the oversight that every cancer patient needs. And so when that time was over and he was being healed and I was able to sort of go back to normal, guess what? I had lost myself. I lost myself. I tried to go back to that consulting group and began to build that back over again. And the first year I made like enough money so I didn't have to borrow. The second money, I doubled my income and I thought, oh, I'm on the way back up. But the third year, the kid had a relapse and then I was out of the marketplace again for a year. So I had to think deep. I had to go inside of my core and determine, who are you, Angela? Where do you want to go? Where's your through line? What makes you happy? See, there's a convergence that we're going to talk about in just a moment between what you do very well and what you can offer in the marketplace. So the next thing that happened is I came to myself and I was able to write the 4th book. Now, this fourth book put me back out there. This fourth book opened up doors that I never dreamed possible. This fourth book was a lifeline for me because I was really sort of depressed. I wasn't doing well professionally. I didn't have any work to do, honestly, until I wrote this fourth book. And then after that book, the magic started to happen again. The magic started to happen, and I was getting all kinds of opportunities. I was back on television, back on radio, back being quoted in magazines. It was wonderful. I was having such a good time. And when COVID hit and everybody went virtual, it didn't bother me at all because I had already been virtual because my son was sick. And so I did a lot of international opportunities, got cited in magazines. I got great partnerships. I won a number of awards at the beginning of COVID. I was one of the top 5 people that the thought leaders said you should watch. And then this was the icing on the cake. I became a distinguished alumni at Miami University. Good times once again. And it all was because I wrapped my genius up once again in the pages of a book. And when you do that, you can get similar results, even better results. That's why I want you to write your book. That's why I want you to finish the book, because I know what finishing this book is going to do for you. It is going to build your business like nothing else. And then after that, we're going to go over to our next step. Our next step is all about the book creation. And it's going to work for you whether you want to write, hate to write, refuse to write, whether you need a little help or you need a lot of help. It will work for you. So let's talk about that process. The biggest thing that I can share for you is you want to create for your readers some type of transformation. People are reading your book because you've got some knowledge, you've got some expertise that is going to take them somewhere. So I am really disappointed in seeing all of these books, often by women, where they're just telling their story. They're using the pages of a book like a personal journal. Please, please, please don't do that. People are coming to you because, okay, you've had a situation that people can relate to. And yes, your story is very valuable. But what's more valuable than your story itself is the transformation for your audience, for your reader. So how can you make them feel differently, think something differently, do something differently? Once they read your book, they should have an aha moment or 2 or 3 where they're able to do things better, faster, easier, cheaper, right? And then you want to do this step by step. You want a progression so that they can actually make that transformation. And here's the beautiful part of it. Once you map out the change that you can produce in people's lives, you look at this is part of the strategy. Look at that transformation and determine, is this all one book, or can I create my 3-book stack out of that? Now, a 3-book stack just simply means that you are writing 3 books on the topic in your industry because you are an expert. You want to look at all of the issues around your niche very uniquely. So you can do a 3-book stack. And look at all the top people in your industry. Look at all of the top people in your industry. They all have 3 books. Some of them take the approach, I'm going to look at one core issue and I'm going to look at different segments, different stakeholders, and how that core issue impacts them, or some of them said, hey, I'm going to look at issue A, then I'm going to go on to issue B, and then I'm going on to issue C, because all of them, the understanding of all of them together is what really helps people. But it's that transformation. We've got to get that transformation down pat. And then you begin to build out your books. So here's an example. Here are my next two books that are be coming out. One is called Six Figures Plus Zero Employees, and it's helping people how to earn 6 or 7 figures when they hate to deal with payroll. I've been a solopreneur my entire life, and I've been a business builder for over 25 years. And I've never wanted employees, and I still don't want employees, even though everybody tells me if you had employees, you could make so much more money. But I don't work alone. I've got a number of preferred provider, subcontractors, and contractors that I work with in order to get everything done. But when you take a look at these next two books that are coming out, you can see there's some strategy behind it. Take a look at how both of the books look. A very similar layout. I even have the same seal, even though in the seals, different things are being taught. Another segment of my audience are Christian kingdom entrepreneurs. And I noticed that they are reading these books about how to use your subconscious mind and earn more income. And I wanted to teach them about the source of that secret. So when you really do your strategy for where you're going, where am I going? I am going to the place where I am the go-to person for self-employment. For people who want to understand, I don't care if you call it freelancing or contracting, consulting, whatever you call it. I'm building books that are going to take me to that spot in my niche. And you need to do the same thing. Now, I want to talk about um, the next step, the building of your business and how you align your marketing. Let me tell you a true story about business building. I had someone come to one of my master classes. She said she was only there 15, 20 minutes because she had heard about me. And she came to check me out. She wanted me to host one of their webinars. So we met on Zoom and we talked, and I found out you got way too much content, way too much content. We need to do at least 2. Now, when we were negotiating, she asked me what was my rate. I told her my rate, and she said, oh, no. That's not what we pay people to host these webinars. And she told me their rate. Well, it was pretty far from what I was asking for. And this is the power. This is the power of the book. This is what I did. No joke, no exaggeration. I took my book, I put it right up to my face, and I said to her, you can probably find someone who will do the webinars for you, but I wrote the book, tapping on my name. I wrote the book. Not only did I write the book, I wrote the book for your target audience. I've been working with this target audience for over 20 years. I'm considered a national expert on this, but I wrote the book, the exact book that you want training on. Guess what happened? I got my rate. And then she said, well, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to work with you next year. So I did 2 webinars for them. I represented them in this entrepreneurial organization. And then the next year, when it was time to renew, they never even questioned my rate. And every year, the contracts have gotten better and better and better and better from one book. From that one contract, I think we've probably made like $250,000, $60,000 from that one contract because it was very strategic. It was being out front, talking to the audience that I already understood, and I already knew who else wanted to talk to that audience about the same thing that I'm talking about. A book can build your business. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. It's not just about your expertise. Your story, your expertise are very, very important. But it's equally important is for you to understand your ideal customer. You've got to understand your ideal customer because it's that customer, right? What we're looking for when you write your book, we're looking for where your expertise and that customers, their pain points, their desires, their wants, where they intersect together. They come together, right? And so you are going to be addressing exactly what they're looking for. When you can reach this is where you can leverage it to grow your business like nothing else. So it's not just you, it's not just your audience, but it's a combination of both of them. And how we do it, make sure that that happens for you and for my customers, is some tools that I created called the AI Biz Generators. And these generators do exactly that. They bring you together, your expertise, your vision for the future, your through line, where you're taking your company, and it combines it with what your audience wants. So let's take a look at just one of these AI generators. And now let me take an overview of what they are so you can get an understanding of what I'm actually talking about. So the AI Biz Generators are the most powerful tools you can have to grow your business as well as write your book. And I'm going to show you a little bit about what they are about because I think it's really hard for me to describe, but just think of it this way. It's going to take your customer and it's going to take your expertise, it's going to put them together. Remember, we talked about the convergence. When they come together, that's what we want. That's what creates a book that's going to build your business. And I feel very privileged to be able to introduce you to these AI Biz Generators because they are a game changer. They really, really are. So let's just take a look at what I'm talking about here. And thing about it that I really, really love is that they're so simple to use. So let's take a look at the AI Biz Generators, and then we'll come back and keep talking about what we're doing here.
Are you looking for data-driven insights to create or expand your business? Do you dream of writing an ebook that captivates readers and elevates your expert positioning? Well, look no further. Introducing the AI Biz Generators. These 20 powerful and easy-to-use tools are customized to your business and offerings. Say goodbye to guessing and uncertainty about revenue possibilities. With our generators, you will know your customers' desires and have promotional copy to reach them. But we don't stop there. The AI generators give you in-demand topics based on your customers' pain points and deepest desires. They generate captivating ebooks along with promotional strategies. Your ebook will open doors you never thought possible. It's time to tap into the power of AI, just like your competitors. Save time, effort, and money with these innovative tools. Simply input the information in the prompt boxes and let the customer generator do the rest. It analyzes vast amounts of data points to provide clear and usable recommendations and copy tailored to your needs. Discover the power of AI generators today. Whether you prefer the business building bundle or the ebook creation bundle, we have the right generators to meet your needs. Click below to purchase your generators today. Would you like a custom generator or a book bot for your company? Click on the navigation tabs above to learn more.
Now, I know that was fantastic for you. It gave you just a little bit of understanding of how you'll be able to use the AI biz generators, that book bundle, to grow your business, to create a book that your customers want right now. This is so exciting because this is the first time ever AI makes it possible that authors are able to know in advance. If you don't have a huge list, if you're a famous person, it doesn't matter really what you write. I mean, it does because your brand is at risk, but anything you write, people are going to buy. But if you are an average subject matter expert, say you've got a few thousand people, up to like 15,000 people on your list, you can use these so that you can produce content over and over and over again. It just doesn't have to be a book. It could be your blog post, your social media, all of that, but it's going to bring those two things together, the intersection of your expertise with what the market wants. I find that very, very exciting, right? Find it very exciting. So here's the question. You saw these book bots, right? These are something that authors can use to promote their book. It's an interactive tool where when you can't be there, it will answer all of the questions about your book. I think that's pretty cool too. So tell me, do you want more? Do you want more? Do you want me to go ahead and show you how you monetize with your expertise, with your book? We haven't even gotten into the multiple streams of income yet. Do you want more? Now, are you ready for monetization? Yes, that is one of my favorite parts of the presentation today because there are multiple opportunities for you. There are so many opportunities for you. I think this is going to blow your mind. Now, there are both content opportunities. Once you create that book, this is the great thing. You're going to have enough content for probably 6 months to a year. You won't have to write about anything else. You're just going to repurpose what you've already created. Let me show you how I did it with one of my books. So remember, I shared with you this book, which was the one that I put up to my face. Look at what I did with it. I took that book and I pulled tools out of it. In fact, I pulled a tool out of it that I had the good fortune, to actually sell to a customer for $10,000. I created social media posts, ebooks, several ebooks out of it, signature programs. The program was called Build Your Side Hustle Income Plan, where I did one-on-one with people, telling them how to actually get started. We did events, several events all around the topics that were covered in the book, as well as basic things like blog posts and things like that. So you're going to be able to take that content and repurpose it over and over again. But that's not all. You can also begin to expand your offerings, and you decide what that is. Remember, I said we're all starting at the core. You look at your core and you say, where do you want to go? What is the easiest pathway to get there? And what do I like to do? Some of you like to be in front of the camera, so we'll look at options for that. Some of you like to be behind the scenes. There are options for that. But let me just show you very quickly some of what you can do. You see this diagram, if you will. These are just a few of the options. There are actually more that you can productize right out of your books. And so you look at doing retreats. Now, I've never done retreats. It is on my list of things to do. But all of these that are highlighted in yellow, I have done successfully from the books. Licensing your content, master classes and training, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, emceeing events, getting sponsors. And what's your summits? You can repackage them, resell them, expand them. Joint ventures, membership sites,
Software, that's how we came up with the AI Biz software, and then physical products, t-shirts and bags and things like that. Now, I wanted to emphasize this particular um, slide because you see that I'm on a summit. Now, this is the power of those profitable partnerships. I'm on a summit and I'm actually speaking. You see how they strategically place me in the center with a large picture. But I'm on a summit with speakers like um, Bailey, who worked for Disney, Simon T. Bailey. I almost forgot his name. I'm with him. I'm with people who have won international recognition and fame. And it looks like there's some influence transfer because I'm being featured with them, that I am on their same level. And all of this comes out of those profitable partnerships. So, what's your next step? What's your next step? I want you to pay attention. I put a QR code up in the corner, up there. Scan the QR code. If you're not familiar with scanning, all you need to do is take your camera, point it toward there. It's going to highlight a link that you can click on and go over to see the offer that I am about to share with you. If you're not that sophisticated, I also have provided a link on the other side of the screen. Either way, next steps. Now you can go the hard way. You can go the hard way where you keep posting content, you keep doing all of these free summits. Some of you don't do free anymore. And that's a great thing. We all want to be in a position where we only do free if it's part of our life mission, not because we're so desperate for exposure. When you have a strategy behind your book, you won't be desperate for exposure. So don't go the hard way. Don't go the hard way like you're pushing a rock up the hill all the time. You want to go the easy way. Have a customized monetization program for your particular book. Now, we can help you with that. I mentioned to you that we have the Write Your Way to Revenue classes coming up. It is a 1 month program, 2 hours a day,